Good Tuesday afternoon to you here from Joe Braun Field in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Glad to have you along here on Radio Plus Video Sports. Jordan King with you here this afternoon. We got Carrie punching the buttons, Zane down on the camera. Appreciate their work this afternoon. It's Division I, Sectional Number 4 Regional Baseball here this afternoon. First round of the tournament, the regional semifinals, and the fourth-seeded Fond du Lac Cardinals welcome in FVA Conference foe number 13, Oshkosh North, here in round number 1. Winner moves on to Thursday. If Fondy wins it, they will host once again the winner of Slinger, who's the 5 seed, hosting 12th-seeded Menasha, coming up at 5 o'clock today. We'll take another look throughout the day, throughout the afternoon here at that sectional number 4. Top seed is Germantown, but we'll break that down a little bit later on here in this Right Way Home Improvement pregame show. The Cardinals beat Oshkosh North twice this year, swept the season series. Back on May 15th, it was a 10-6 win at Oshkosh North, and earlier back on April 21st here at home, the Cards beat North 16-6. So both fairly comfortable wins for Fondy. The third-place finishers, tied for third, did the Cards in the FVA. Oshkosh North finished down in 8th place. All right, this is the Right Way Home Improvement pregame show. We'll meet the starting lineups, get you set for regional semifinal baseball here in Division I. First pitch set for 4:30 here on Radio Plus Sports. Take a time out. As we do, we'll see our Athlete of the Week presented by Lenz Truck Center.
Each and every week, Lenz Truck Center of Fond du Lac Radio Plus Video Sports in partnership with Jeff's live streams salute a great student athlete of the week. Congratulations to Laconia's Aubrey Maurer. Maurer for Laconia is the leader in school hits.
Fires up the middle. It'll be deep. It'll be gone. A 2-run shot for Aubrey Maurer. That is the all-time career hit record for the Laconia Spartans. It is number 157 for Aubrey Maurer.
Aubrey has just hit her career 157th hit, and what a way to do it with a home run.
Again, congratulations to Laconia's Aubrey Maurer, our student athlete of the week this week from Radio Plus Video Sports in partnership with Jeff's live streams and our presenting sponsor, Lenz Truck Center.
Yeah, I mean, Aubrey's just a hard-working kid. She's worked. She's played varsity for 4 years, and she continues to push herself and work hard. And for her to get this school record. It is so deserving because she's put in all the work that she needs to do that. So I'm happy. I'm thrilled for her.
I want to give a quick shout out to Scott, Jeff, Miss Moeller, and our sports coordinator, Cody Moon, because me, my mom, my dad, who's also a coach, we had no idea. So they coordinated the poster, they coordinated the shout out, they coordinated everything. And I just want to say a big thank you because I could not truly be here without them. They're great.
We got the trucks at Lenz Truck.
At Musa Sheet Metal, they spend generations building a better everyday life. They don't just build panels, they build a legacy. They're growing, innovating, and pushing the limits again with their brand new 24-gauge stocked steel line. Musa colors created by the Musa team, 25 bold choices ready to go. Delivering the best solutions in architectural sheet metal. Say hi to the Musa apprentices. They're your neighbors, your classmates, and the future of the industry. Musa Sheet Metal, revolutionizing steel, building the future.
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value menu has so much Lutz, it's starting to go to people's heads. I'm the Lutzierge.
Which is the mini taco salad fork?
Here to help them cope. So when you try the mini taco salad, beefy potato loaded griller, or chips and nacho supreme dip, enjoy the Lutz. Just don't let it go to your head.
Yeah, bring the car around.
You know there's no valet.
Then who's getting the car?
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value menu. 10 extravagant indulgences, all $3 or less.
Back here at Joe Braun Field. Thanks for being with us. Right Way Home Improvement pregame show rolls on here with our Silica for your home starting lineups. Let's start with the home Fondy Cardinals as the coaches get together for their pregame meeting with the umpires here before we get going in regional final action. Lineup for the Cardinals, batting leadoff, the center fielder, number 16, Keaton Killian. In the 2 spot, number 17, the shortstop, Grant Godursky. Batting third, the catcher, number 2, Jack Brenner. In the cleanup spot, Hudson Berg, who's going to do the pitching tonight for Fondy. He wears number 4. In the 5-hole is the third baseman, number 3, Zach Zangle. Batting 6th, the designated hitter, number 10, Bryson Patton. Batting 7th, the first baseman, number 7, Logan Bonlander. Batting 8th is Gavin Supernan. He's going to play out in right field, wearing number 11. And rounding out the batting order for Fondy, number 15, the left fielder, Aspen Kettlehut. And then the defensive replacement for Bryson Patton, the DH, is second baseman Tate Winter, who wears number 5. Those are the starters for Fondy. And we'll give you the starters as well for Oshkosh North and their lineup. Batting leadoff, number 2, the shortstop, Jackson Anderson. In the 2 spot, their pitcher, number 10, Keegan Kinsvogel. Batting third, the second baseman, number 6, Braden Frank. Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 9, Jack Bennett. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 1, Jacob Seeger. In the 6th hole, the center fielder, number 8, Griffin Reesop. Batting 7th, the third baseman, number 17, Landon Roofer. In the 8th hole, the first baseman, number 16, Ty Karpowitz. And rounding out the lineup, number 18, the right fielder, Colin O'Hara. The defensive replacement for their designated hitter, Jacob Seeger, is Elliot Schultz. He's out in left field, wears number 5. So those are the starters for both of those teams, and they're presented to you by Silica for your home. Mentioned we'd take a wider look at this sectional number 4. Germantown's the top seed, and number 2 seed is West Bend West. Both of those teams have byes through this afternoon, so they get the afternoon off, and they'll await their opponents. The 3-14 matchup is Neenah and Appleton East. This is your 4-13 here between Fondy and Oshkosh North. The 5-12, as we mentioned, is Slinger hosting Menasha. The 6-11 is Cedarburg at number 6, Hartford. Homestead's the 7th seed hosting number 10, Oshkosh West. And then the 8-9 matchup is Sheboygan North at Manitowoc Lincoln. Speaking of Manitowoc Lincoln, if Fondy can get a couple of home wins and win the regional title, that's where the sectional site is coming up next week. It would be a doubleheader on Tuesday to try to go to state over at Manitowoc Lincoln against potentially the top-seeded Germantown team. But that's way ahead of ourselves. If you're talking from a Fondy perspective, they got to get out there, get it done this afternoon against anytime you're playing a conference foe, it means you're going to play a team a third time. And that's always a little bit of a trap. And you got to take care of business here this afternoon if you're a Fondy Cardinal fan. Pitching matchup, as I mentioned, Hudson Berg versus Keegan Kinsvogel, and that should be a good one as well. All right, this is the Right Way Home Improvement pregame show, and we're going to wrap it up here, take a break. When we come back, we'll have regional semifinal baseball for you here on Radio Plus Video Sports.
Each week, Len's Truck Center, Radio Plus Video Sports, in partnership with Jeff's live streams, salute a great play of the week. This small ball play of the week is from Lamira.
So it's runners on 2nd and 3rd now and no outs for who other than Krista Gossner. That one bunted towards the pitcher. It'll be a throw to first, and they'll not be in time. Now they'll catch Addie Benke in a pickle. Throwing back and forth, and Becky's going to get around it.
What a play by Benke.
Again, thanks to Radio Plus Video Sports in partnership with Jeff's live streams and Len's Truck Center.
Talk to me about this late inning battle you guys have. This isn't the first time that we've seen it. You guys did it against Campbell Sport, the Cardiac Lions a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I think they're trying to give me gray hairs, honestly. But the fact that they fight through and make adjustments over and over again, no matter what point in the game it is, it just speaks volumes to their confidence.
We got the trucks at Len's Truck.
Today's game is brought to you by Edward Jones and these area Edward Jones financial advisors. Robert Bruce, located at 68 North Main Street. Patrick Ellistad, located at 560 Fond du Lac Avenue. Jeff Wills, located at 649 Fond du Lac Avenue. And Matt Helmer, located at 649 Fond du Lac Avenue. Good luck to all athletes in today's game. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
At Radio Plus, we're proud to bring you stream team coverage of local sporting events. Our team is dedicated to providing live coverage from across Wisconsin, supporting the local teams and communities we know and love. What began as a one-person operation with play-by-play on radio has grown into a 5 or 6-person production. Keeping pace with the latest technology, equipment, and personnel is not only demanding, but costly. If you'd like to support this broadcast as a sponsor or a donor in any way, please scan the QR code on the screen.
All right, just about ready to get things underway here in a regional semifinal. Jordan King with you. Appreciate our sponsors for the pregame show. The title sponsor, Right Way Home Improvement, and our lineup sponsor, Silica for Your Home. And you just saw our Lens Truck Center Play of the Week as well. Running all 3 seasons, our Lens Truck Center Play of the Week, and we've seen some dandies. Think back to the football season, successful season on all fronts there, an exciting winter season, and here we are into the postseason, wrapping up another school year sports season. Mentioned these teams met on May 15th. That was the closer of the 2 games, a 10-6 win for Fondy at Oshkosh North. Berg got the save. Starting pitcher Hudson Berg got the save. He went 3 innings in relief of Gavin Supernan in that game. Gave up 2 runs, just one of them earned, struck out 4 across those 3 innings, and gave up just 3 hits to Oshkosh North. Big days offensively. Jack Brenner that day, 2 for 4 with a triple, RBI, couple of runs. 2 runs driven in by Zach Zangel. Couple more by Logan Bonlander in that win earlier this season. And then the first meeting between these two here at Joe Braun Field back in April, on April 21st. That was Supernan getting the win once again, so he got the win both times. It was a shortened game. 16-6 was the final. But did not see Berg pitch in that game back in April. But he's going to get the start here this afternoon. And we are ready for regional semifinal baseball. So Jackson Anderson will get things started for Oshkosh North, the shortstop for North, who overall this season, first pitch inside and a ball. Oshkosh North was 6-18. 5 of those 6 wins came inside the FVA, where they finished 8th. 5-13 record. As we mentioned, Fondy finished tied for 3rd in the FVA, 12-6. They were 17-8 overall were the Cards, and that's what's earned them a 4 seed here in the playoffs. And there's strike number 1 of the day for Berg. Runs the count 2-1. Berg continues from the windup. This one lined out to right, and it's going to be an opening base knock for Oshkosh North, and it comes from Jackson Anderson. So some early traffic for Berg to deal with. Second hitter Keegan Kinsvogel, the pitcher, comes to the plate immediately with an opportunity to help his own cause at the plate. So Berg straight to the windup after just a single hitter, and he's going to quickly check on Anderson, who was back there easily. Berg comes set and comes home with pitch number 1 to his counterpart Kinsvogel, and it's up and in. Kinsvogel give you some of the numbers from the second meeting between these two. That was the more competitive of the two. That one clips the outside corner. That's a good-looking pitch from Berg. Got to feel like if he can live in that area, he's going to have a lot of success this afternoon. Kinsvogel 1 for 2 with a couple of walks. Another check on Anderson, who was a little bit further. He crept a little bit further off that time, but got back easily on the infield, which is turf here at Fondy. Outfield still the natural grass. And Anderson's going to go, and this one to the backstop. He's going to be easily in. That was behind the head. Look out of Keegan Kinsvogel. And the count is 2-1. So a wild pitch that time. It was a great jump from Anderson. I think he'd have been safe either way, but didn't matter after the pitch was, well wide of Jack Brenner back there. So a runner in scoring position here for the North pitcher. And now he's going to square around. This one's well off the plate. Snap throw back out to short and over the shortstop's head out there. Goderski couldn't keep it in front of him. Sailed a little bit on Jack Brenner, but we saw him in the warm-ups. I mean, he's got a cannon, so interesting that Oshkosh North decided to run. I think that just tells you the respect that this North coaching staff has for Fondy's offense. And timeout taken in the box by Kinsvogel as Berg was watching Anderson dance around out there at second base. 2-2 count, so it did get a strike on that last one, and there's strike 3. So Berg, after the wild pitch, settles in, strikes out Kinsvogel for the first out of the ball game, and he'd take another one of those with Braden Frank stepping in, the second baseman. Going to crowd the plate a little bit inside, certainly towing the line there. So one out here in the top of the first, runner in scoring position. Another one, that's an excellent backhanded snag by Brenner. Saved a base. Anderson singled out to right, then advanced the second on the wild pitch, which is where he is now. Good lead, good jump, throw down to third. Safe there. That was an excellent jump again from Anderson, and that just tells you the kind of arm that Brenner's got, because he made that. That should not have been a play down at third. And he nearly threw out Anderson. So just like that, infield comes in for Fondy with the 1-1 count. That one outside corner, and it's a strike. That's a gorgeous pitch. In the second regular season game, Frank was 0 for 4, excuse me. He did score a run. He reached on an error. Here's the 1-2 to Frank. Inside, hit him. So runner's going to be at the corners here, and Brenner just out to have a word with Berg, settle him down a little bit as cleanup hitter Jack Bennett, the catcher, comes up for North, who's threatening here in the top of the first. And Brenner, I'm assuming communication there on whether Frank leaves or not. You would assume there's going to be a steal attempt here from Braden Frank if he can get any sort of a jump. With a man at third, make the Cards make a decision, try to cut something off. First pitch is in there for a strike. Bennett was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs back on May 15th, and he's instantly got an RBI opportunity here. That one, that was up. Looked good from here, but up at the letters. Did catch the back half of the zone, though. 1-1. This one in on the hands, fouled back, and it's going to be 1-2. Strikeout or a ground ball, that's what Hudson Berg's looking for Hear from Jack Bennett, the catcher from Oshkosh North, who literally has his toes on the line. He's in on the plate. Berg comes home way outside, and it's 2-2. That's probably 3 or 4 now excellent plays by Jack Brenner behind the dish that have collectively saved at least a run. Here's the 2-2. Runner goes. Berg fouls it away way late, but stays alive. Another pitch there from Hudson Berg challenging Bennett inside. So Frank takes his lead yet again at first. Anderson, we've seen his speed already over at third. Frank's going to go again. That one's up, and Fondy's going to let him go into second. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the man who led Oshkosh North in RBIs the second meeting between these two teams. Fondy's infield's back in. Big time pitch here on a 3-2 count. Berg comes set and comes home. Outside corner, off the plate, and it is ball 4. So they're loaded up here for Oshkosh North with just a single out, and I think they'll get a courtesy runner for Jack Bennett as Jacob Seeger, the designated hitter, is ready, and we'll get you confirmation. Number 7, Tucker Moskell, over at first, will run for Oshkosh North. Well, if you're an Oshkosh North fan, you gotta be feeling like you gotta capitalize, cash in on this massive opportunity early here against the 4th-seeded Cards. That one outside corner and in there for strike 1. So Berg that's just the second batter of now what is the 5th batter of the inning that he's gotten ahead 0-1. That first pitch strike has eluded him. This one skied high. Infield fly will be in effect. And that's a big timeout, number 2, getting Seeger to pop sky high to second. And now there's a light at the end of the tunnel here for Hudson Berg as Griffin Resop, the center fielder, digs in on the left side of the plate. A big-time opportunity for Oshkosh North. This one lined out to left. See if it stays up out there. It does. Great running snag by Espen Kettlehut. And Fondy gets out of the jam in the top of the first. A hard-hit ball that threatened, but the Cards keep the Spartans off the board. Great job by Hudson Berg. We go to the bottom of the first. It's still scoreless here at Fondy.
Whatever it takes.
AirTech delivers whatever it takes service to take care of you. Bryant and AirTech Heating of Fond du Lac.
It's the dawn of a new day for Dr. Kathy Doyle Kelly and Doyle Kelly Family Dentistry.
I'm Dr. Dylan Fogel, and I'm now the new owner of Doyle Kelly Family Dentistry. I'm truly honored to carry forward the tradition of personalized care you've come to know and trust. You'll still see Dr. Kathy and all the familiar faces who make this office feel like home. At Doyle Kelly Family Dentistry, we promise to do everything we can to keep you smiling before, after, and even during your appointment.
Doyle Kelly Family Dentistry will be changing its name to Fogel Family Dentistry in 2026. Find Dr. Dylan Fogel on Fond du Lac Avenue in Fond du Lac.
All right, back here for the bottom of the first inning, and man, Fondy with the Houdini act. Hudson Berg gets out of the one-out bases-loaded jam without giving up a single run, and a great play out and left by Espen Kettlehut. Off the bat, it certainly looked like Griffin Resop was going to drive in 2 runs with a line drive out to left field. Kettlehut ran it down. It just stayed in the air long enough for the Cards to tiptoe their way out of that inning. So as we mentioned, Keegan Kinsvogel will toe the rubber here for Oshkosh North. Did not pitch in the second of the two meetings. Look back at that April meeting. Didn't pitch in that one either. So his first look here for Fondy at Kinsvogel for Oshkosh North. And Killian squares around with a bunt. It's a good one, and he's got himself an infield single. Landon Rufer over there, that's a tough play over at third, and had to rush a little bit with the speed of Keaton Killian. And Grant Godursky is going to come up, and so both of these teams getting their leadoff batters on base. And Fondy's hoping to capitalize, which is something that Oshkosh North not able to do. Godursky squares around. There goes Killian, and he's in there at second. So Keaton Killian with a stolen base, and he's into scoring position. Pitch was a strike, by the way, 0-1 count. Here with an RBI opportunity right away for the Fondy Cardinal shortstop. So the same thing we saw from Jackson Anderson here. Godursky squares around. It's a good one. It's a base hit. Miscommunication there on the defensive side of things for Oshkosh North. And that was as easy as you like. So Jack Brenner, with nobody out, has an opportunity here. And Oshkosh North going to keep their defense back. This early in the game, you'd trade a run for a couple of outs if Brenner, anything out of the infield should score a pair for the Cards. Brenner awaits the 1-1. This one driven out to center, line shot, beats the center fielder. Resop jumped at it, couldn't get it. It's going to score two, and Brenner's going to be into third easily. And the Cards take an early 2-0 lead.
Now batting number 4, pitcher,
Hudson Berg comes to the plate, and the Cardinals pitcher already knowing that his offense has given him some support here in the bottom half of this first inning. Resop, the wind's blowing out, and miscalculated how hard that was hit by Brenner. And so officially would probably go down as an error. This one ripped down the left field line. Should score Brenner either way. It gets down out there to the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. But how about this Fondy offense jumping all over Kinsvogel early in this one? Still hasn't recorded an out. This one fouled over the north dugout. And the count is 1-2. Kinsvogel working from the windup with Berg all the way over at third. That one was upstairs. Zengel awaits the 2-2 outside again. Oh, they're gonna. It's been that way all afternoon that the away strike has been there, and Zengel thought it was a little too far out and gets rung up looking. So Patton to the plate here, the designated hitter for Fondy, and he fouls it straight back to the screen. Bryson Patton. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Skied right back towards us. And we'll see if it stays in play. It will just about get pushed back in by the wind. And good concentration from Jack Bennett.
Now batting number 7, first baseman.
Right off the bat, all the fans sitting right in front of us in the press box put their hands up because that looked like it was easily getting back by us back here, and the wind just helped drift it back into play. So a couple of big outs here for Kinsvogel. And that brings up Bonlander to the plate, and this one's going to get past Bennett. And there's run number 4 of the first inning for Fondy. Logan Bonlander, the first baseman. We mentioned he had a couple of RBIs in the second meeting between these two teams. This one bounced out to second. Should take care of the Cards in the bottom of the first, but not before they put up a crooked number and take control of this regional semifinal early. They lead at 4-0. We go to the second here on Radio Plus. Back here, top of the second at Joe Braun Field. Cards hang a 4 spot on Oshkosh North in the bottom of the first. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot already. Oshkosh North loaded the bases with 1 out in the top half of the first. Fondy got out of it, and then the Cards bats took no time to come alive. Big knock for Fondy was the Brenner, probably not a triple, probably would go down as an error, but if you're being generous, call it a triple. Drove in a couple of runs. Brenner would come around to score on a double by Berg, and then he would score on a pass ball at the end of the inning. Here is Berg back to work, and there's that outside strike. And if you're a pitcher, you love that. You want that outside strike anytime you can get it. This one's upstairs, but swung on and missed by Roofer. Oh, 2 outside corner. Roofer swings through it, and there's out number 1. Came a little quicker than it did in the top of the first. Strikeout number 2 of the day for Berg. Number 8 hitter, first baseman Ty Karpowitz steps in on the right side for Oshkosh North, and he ducked. Would have hit him. And it's 1-0. Colin O'Hara, the right fielder, stands on deck, and if you're Berg, you'd love to go 1, 2, 3 here at the bottom 3 of the order for Oshkosh North. Berg comes home. That one's in the dirt, and it's 3-0 to the 8 hitter Karpowitz. Berg comes home with the 3-0. That one's in there for a strike. Fondy brought 7 batters to the plate in the bottom of the first. That one's in there for strike number 2, and Berg's all the way back to a full count. Compare that to the 6 batters that North brought to the plate but didn't score in the top of the first. That one's inside and up, and it'll be a walk issued to the number 8 hitter for Oshkosh North, and that'll bring Colin O'Hara to the plate. If you want that called strike, you got to do it on the outside corner here this afternoon. That one's up, and it's ball number 1. Karpowitz with a small lead over at first. Berg not worrying about him. Fires a strike in there. It's 1-1. Berg with the 1-1 outside corner. Swung on and missed and needs a strike away from his. That's just 2 strikes, I was going to say. Berg saying, hey, we'll take the strikeout if you want it. 1-2 count. Thought I was losing my mind here. I was like, just 2 strikes there. This one lined out to second. Diving stop made. What a play over at second base by Tate Winter. Oh, man. What a gorgeous play for out number 2.
Now batting number 2, shortstop Jackson Anderson.
That's why, if you're a defensive replacement, that's how you make your mark, and Tate Winter did just that. What a play. Shading up near second base, ranged all the way over to the hole, made the diving stop. And a good throw as well. First pitch here to leadoff man Jackson Anderson, who got on with that single out to right field in the first. And it's a strike for Berg, who has been much better about getting that first pitch strike. 3 out of the 4 hitters here in the second. Berg wanted that one on the inside corner, but called a ball. But much better percentage of first pitch strikes here in inning number 2. Here's the 1-1 to the dangerous Jackson Anderson. And that was called a ball, and it was up. Umpire said it was upstairs. That was like right above the belt. Berg a little frustrated with that one. Not sure I blame him. 2-1 count to Anderson. This one driven out to right field. Should stay up in the air, and it does for Gavin Supernan to make the play. And Fondy's out of the second after allowing a single base runner. We go to the bottom of 2. Fondy in control, 4-0.
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value menu has so much Lutz, it's starting to go to people's heads. I'm the Lutzierge.
Which is the mini taco salad fork?
Here to help them cope. So when you try the mini taco salad, beefy potato loaded griller, or chips and nacho supreme dip, enjoy the Lutz. Just don't let it go to your head.
Yeah, bring the car around.
You know there's no valet.
Then who's getting the car?
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value menu. 10 extravagant indulgences, all $3 or less.
Bottom of the second between the Fondy Cardinals and Oshkosh North Spartans. Fondy leads at 4-0. And they'll have Supernan, Kettle Hut, and Killian to lead off here in inning number 2. Gavin Supernan just made the play defensively to get Fondy out of the second defensively. And now he gets a chance at the dish to get the Cards going in inning number 2. handful of area teams still alive in baseball. Waupun getting going in a couple of minutes. They might be underway down at Waupun. Have that one elsewhere on Radio Plus. Also got Waupun softball still in action. Sectionals on the semifinal side of things. Couple of smaller school softball teams still in it. Laconia and Lamira with that kind of headliner matchup. That'll get going in a couple of minutes on Radio Plus as well. And there's a handful of baseball teams that are down in the smaller divisions that are still alive, along with Fondy and Waupun. Here's the 1-1 count to Supernan. This one grounded softly over to third. Going to be a tough play, and Roofer couldn't get it out of his glove, so Supernan's going to reach. Even with the throw, it was going to be a tough play. Supernan getting down the line well there. And that was the second time that Roofers had an opportunity to make a play and just kind of had to rush it a little bit with the speed of Fondy down that line. So here's Espen Kettlehut, who made the great play to get Fondy out of that first inning. Had he not made that, he ran a long way to make that play in the first inning. If that gets down that left field line, who knows what the score of this game is. It would have at least scored 2 for Oshkosh North. Brought more to the plate. Here's a good bunt back to the pitcher. Going to be a tough play. High throw over the head of the first baseman by Kinsvogel. And that one's out into right field. Fondy's going to be aggressive. Send Supernan to the plate. He's going to score. All the way from first. Great speed around the bases. And how about that in terms of aggressiveness from Fondy, and there's going to be a meeting out at the mound for Oshkosh North. The inside, these infield bunts and base knocks have just given Oshkosh North all sorts of issues. Whether it's third baseman Landon Roofer or the pitcher Keegan Kinsvogel. And just a quick meeting there out at the mound, but just Oshkosh North trying to shake some life into their team. Coach Pease not happy. So back over to the top of the order with Keaton Killian, whose reached and scored. That throw out to second, and there's another stolen base as Kettlehut makes it in there easily. Killian reached on that fantastic bunt to start the game. Quickly stole second. And ended up scoring one of the 5 runs Fondy's already put on the board, and they look prime for a crooked number here in inning number 2 as well. Pitch on the inside, and good job by Killian to get that bat back, and it's 1-1. That's a problem when Fondy's, even when they're playing small ball and they're what would normally be a sacrifice bunt, they get down the line so quickly that it's not a routine play, and they've ended up being infield hits here this afternoon. Killian late on that and fouled it back over the Fondy dugout, and it's 1-2. Plenty of speed out there with Kettlehut at second. Anything that sneaks through the infield more than likely score a run. And based on what we've seen, something in the infield might also score a run. That was on the outside corner, but just off the plate. And it's 2-2. Kinsvogel looking for his first out of the second inning. Killian late on this one as well. But stays alive. Top 4 in the order all reached base for Fondy in the top of the first, and that's the barrel that Kinsvogel's staring at right now. This one up at the letters, and out number 1 on the strikeout. Kinsvogel challenged Killian up high and got him to swing through it. So Goderski, who singled with that equally impressive bunt in the first, is back at the plate. Maybe another bunt's in order here. That's inside. See how Fondy decides to play this. Goderski's going to swing away, and it's 1-1. Beautiful day for baseball. It's a little warm down on the turf before the game, but the breeze has picked up a little bit. Another one fouled back, and it's 1-2. Clanking off the bleachers back here. So Kinsvogel is settled in here in inning number 2, and is a strike away from getting the second out, and maybe trying to stifle some of this positive Fondy momentum on the offensive side. This one grounded over to third, and perfect timing by the base runner, Kettlehut. That was intentional. He slowed down to make that a tough play and just obstructed the view of Roofer, and it got through both Roofer and Anderson over there on the left side. So Brenner comes to the plate. He ended up at third base after what was probably an E8 in the first. Just smoked one out to dead center, and it beat Griffin Resop out there, who took a couple of steps in and realized his mistake. So Goderski over at first on the E5. But again, Kettlehut just timed that perfectly, not to let the ball hit him, but to obstruct the view of the fielders. Made it a really tough play. Still one, though, that should have been made by the North defense. Outside corner, and strike number 1 to Jack Brenner. Brenner awaits the 0-1. Kinsvogel he's trying to push it on the outside corner, see how far off the plate he'll be given. There's the line drawn in the metaphorical sand. Here's the 1-1 to Brenner. Runner goes and is in there with no throw. Goderski back into scoring position. Scored back in the first on the Brenner line drive. Berg waits on deck. The pitcher. Brenner checks his swing, and pitch was outside. They're going to appeal down to second. Impossible for the base ump to make that call from where he's currently standing out between shortstop and the pitcher's mound. So a 3-1 count to Brenner, and the ball way outside. So Brenner walks and reaches for the second time today. Hudsonberg back to the plate. He doubled down the left field line back in the first inning, drove in a run. Chance to really put this thing in a comfortable position for Fondy. This one gets past the catcher out to the backstop, and 2 runners in scoring position here for Berg to build on that RBI, as I mentioned. If he's able to poke one through the infield here, should score 2. Kinsvogel comes home with the 1-0. This one's in the dirt, swung on and missed. Fooled Berg a little bit there. He's way out in front. 1-1 count with 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Fondy's offense has been excellent thus far. Outside, and it's 2-1. That one was just about in the left-handed batter's box. But that's the side of the plate where the pitchers have gotten a couple of balls off the plate this afternoon. And that one is in there. Oh, man, that was shoelace level. I mean, it was also outside, but that was way down. We've seen the outside strike called, but oofta. So the 2-2 here to Berg. Berg skies it to the infield. Anderson ranges over and settles underneath it. And I think one of the umpires called infield fly on that, which is also the incorrect call. So Zach Zengel comes up. I think Berg was, if he was able to have a conversation with the umpire, he'd say, well, as long as you're going to give me that strike when I get back out there. That 2-1 pitch was, man, it almost hit the ground. Nonetheless, it was out number 2. And Zangel's still got an opportunity here to extend this Fondy lead. Here in the bottom of the second, he's down 0-1. This one driven out to right field. Brenner is going to run right straight through at third, and he's going to score. Zach Zengel with 2 RBIs and a big-time single line drive out to right field, and Fondy leads at 8-0. Back-to-back 4 spots for the Cards in the first 2 innings. That's how you start your playoff run. Patton steps in. Bryson Patton, the designated hitter, trying to keep the second inning alive here. That one outside, and it's 1-0. So Patton and Bonlander, now they've only had 1 at-bat, but they're the only 2 Cardinals not to reach base here in the second inning. Through the second inning, excuse me. A couple of those reached back in the first. But that just tells you up and down the lineup, 1 through 9, it's been good for Fondy. This one lined sharply out to short and over the glove, of Anderson. And it's a single through the left side for Patton. And so now 8 of the 9 Cards have reached at least once. And Logan Bonlander can make it 9 for 9. All 9 Cards will have reached base if he finds a way on here. Plus a couple of more runs out there for the Cardinals. This one in the dirt. Good block over there from Jack Bennett. And it's 1-0. Past 5 o'clock, so now Wapon's underway. This one skied down the right field line. It's going to stay in, but North first baseman Karpowicz can't get over to it. Tough play. And 5 o'clock was also the first pitch time for Slinger, so we'll see if we can keep an eye on a score down there. If we can find one, I'll fire up Game Changer between the innings and see what we can find. That one's outside, and it's 2-1. And upstairs, said the umpire. 2-1 pitch here to Bonlander. That one in the dirt, and he swung on it. Two and two with 2 outs here in inning number 2. Kinsvogel fires it in there, popped, and it's going to get out of play. That was hit 1.5 miles in the air, but foul. Bonlander, the 9th batter to the plate this inning. Cards have batted around and have really put a hurting on Oshkosh North. That one's up, and some miscommunication out on the base paths, and a slip at first from Karpowitz is going to move both runners up. The throw from Bennett to Karpowitz, and he was off balance. Miscommunication there between Patton at first. He went and kind of put Zengel in a tough spot, and the throw allowed them to reach safely, and now ball 4 for Bonlander. And now all 9 cards have reached base at least once. Supernan started this inning off, got on base, scored a little bit later on, and now he's back up with the bases juiced. That's outside. Ball 1. Fondy could really bust this thing open. Not saying that 8-0 is not busted open. It is, but this could get ugly here in a hurry. 2-0. And Kinsvogel back to the windup. Comes home, swung on, fouled back by Supernand. And it's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 to the right fielder, Gavin Supernand. Line backwards, and it's 2-2. Fondy's been excellent. Been impressed with their aggressiveness at the plate and on the bases. This is popped up. It's going to be a tough play out there between short and center, and it's dropped. Anderson couldn't make the play, and 2 more runs come around. I'll tell you what, that would have been the play of the afternoon from Jackson Anderson, and he nearly made it. He ran 1 mile out there. Center was playing very deep, and Anderson almost got all the way out there. Nonetheless, 2 more runs come around, and Supernan ends up out at second base. We'll call that one a double. That was not a play that you can really expect a shortstop to make. So Supernan now 2 for 2. Runs scored, 2 RBIs. Kettlehut in here with an 0-1 count. That one's upstairs. Kettlehut reached and scored back in the second, which is where we are right now. He's the 11th batter to come to the plate for Fondy. Nearly clipped him on the inside corner. 4 runs in the first for the Cards, 6 here in inning number 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch, low, and it's 3-1. Kettlehood awaits the 3-1. Green light, swung through it. Would have been a strike on that outside corner. And it's full with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Inning that has lasted forever. That one's outside, and ball number 4. And Kinsvogel not happy, and I think he just said to the dugout, "Come get me." And I think we're going to have a pitching change here. Kinsvogel, he just stood there and said, "Come get me." He gave the ball to someone else. He's going to walk past his coach. And he's leaving the ball field before I think he was taken out. Let's take a time out here as Oshkosh North sorts things out on the other side of things. Kinsvogel's day is done, and we'll see who they bring in when we return here on Radio Plus.
At Musa Sheet Metal, they spend generations building a better everyday life. They don't just build panels, they build a legacy. They're growing, innovating, and pushing the limits again with their brand new 24-gauge stocked steel line. Musa colors created by the Musa team, 25 bold choices ready to go, delivering the best solutions in architectural sheet metal. Say hi to the Musa apprentices. They're your neighbors, your classmates, and the future of the industry. Musa Sheet Metal, revolutionizing steel, building the future.
It's the dawn of a new day for Dr. Kathy Doyle Kelly and Doyle Kelly Family Dentistry.
I'm Dr. Dylan Fogel, and I'm now the new owner of Doyle Kelly Family Dentistry. I'm truly honored to carry forward the tradition of personalized care you've come to know and trust. You'll still see Dr. Kathy and all the familiar faces who make this office feel like home. At Doyle Kelly Family Dentistry, we promise to do everything we can to keep you smiling before, after, and even during your appointment.
Doyle Kelly Family Dentistry will be changing its name to Fogel Family Dentistry in 2026. Find Dr. Dylan Fogel on Fond du Lac Avenue in Fond du Lac.
All right, back here at Joe Braun Field, it's going to be the former shortstop, Jackson Anderson. We'll see how things shuffle around here for Oshkosh North. Going to make a couple of different changes. Number 15. I'm trying to sift through the Oshkosh North lineup here. They get different numbers for different uniforms. I believe that's... I don't see a 15 in the black uniform column, but the 15 in the white uniform column is Owen Ducalo. Perhaps that's who came in out in left field. A lot of shifting around here. I think Jacob Seeger, the DH, number 1, is in at second. And the second baseman, Braden Frank, moved over to short where Jackson Anderson was, who's now pitching. I think that's how we ended up here. Anderson from short to pitcher, Frank from second to short, Seeger from DH to second, and then a defensive replacement. And I'm not positive, but the only 15 I see on the roster is Owen Ducalo, but he's listed as an infielder, and they sent someone to the outfield.
Now batting number 16, center fielder Keaton Killian.
That's all I got for you. Keaton Killian digs in on the left side with the bases loaded here as Anderson will face his first Fondy batter. That's low. I'm not sure Coach Pease was ready to make a change pitching, but Kinsvogel wasn't staying out there. He was frustrated that that full count pitch to Kettlehut was called a ball. It was outside. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's downstairs, and ball number 3. So feel a little bit here for Jackson Anderson, who's thrust into a situation that is not real fair to be tossed into. Full count, and it's a 4-pitch walk and an RBI for Keaton Killian. Just a very bizarre kind of chain of events here in the second inning. I mean, Fondy, the 4 in the first was obviously Fondy, from their perspective, great to get the 4 in the first, but it by no means did it look like what we saw here in the second, where Fondy has now brought their 13th batter to the plate. And that's Goderski. There's strike 1 from Jackson Anderson. Goderski reached on an E5 earlier this inning. In the first, he singled, and he's scored twice. Here's the 1-1, lined out to second. Nice play made there by Jacob Seeger, who, he thought he was just hitting today, but he's out there and he makes a great play out at second base to keep the score at 11-0. We go to the third on Radio Plus. Fondy in control.
When we first began with high school sports and video streaming, it was a camera or two. It's grown to multiple cameras, multiple angles, a switcher operator, a couple of announcers, on-field shots, and really we do all this to enhance the viewership.
But the larger scale production, we just have more options, more camera shots, more quality, with our interviews during the game, post-game, and pre-game, really bring a great product to families that are watching at home or watching after the fact.
Students have families in different communities, different states, even different countries. All those people are able to watch our broadcast and see their family performing at a really high level.
We like to think of it as not just being there for a game, but really enhancing the community involvement with this, and that's what it's about.
Back here, top of the third, and Fondy has made a pitching change. Number 8, Brody House, is into the game. Fondy feels good enough to make the change with an 11-0 lead over Oshkosh North here this early in the ball game. Update from Slinger, the number 5 Owls scoreless with the 12th seeded Menasha Blue Jays, I believe, right? Menasha Blue Jays? Sounds right. Yeah, the Blue Jays. So there you go. Obviously, any winner of that game comes here on Thursday, and potential game times could be 3:30, 4:30. Stay tuned for that coming up on Thursday. So, lead off here for Oshkosh North. Elliot Schmidt. This one in on the hands. Popped out to short, and that play not made out there by Goderski. Almost looked like he lost it off the bat. He kind of took a step in and then realized it was going to carry a little bit further. So
Now batting, number 6 shortstop, Braden Frank.
So Schmidt reaches on an E6, and now a single from Braden Frank. So 2 on here for Oshkosh North to start the third. And a rude welcome here for Fondy's new pitcher. So the catcher, Jack Bennett, with a couple of runners on. And it's 1-0. This one fouled back right over our heads. And it's 1-1. 1-1 outside, and it's 2-1. You know, the nice part about being a top 4 seed in Division I is you don't have to play a true road game, at least not if the host site is one of the lower seeds, which it is in this sectional. Manitowoc Lincoln, one of the double-digit seeds. Check that. They might be the 9, but nonetheless, that's the sectional site. And there's strike 3. So Bennett goes down swinging for the first out of the inning here in the top of the third. But Fondy can hold serve here at home. That's what they would do next Tuesday. Again, a win today. You got to close this one out, and then you got to take care of either Slinger or Menasha Thursday. And then the following Tuesday, doubleheader. Fondy's game would be the 10 a.m. game at Manitowoc Lincoln. And then if they would win that, they would play for a trip to state at 4 p.m. next Tuesday, doubleheader. Likely against top-seeded Germantown would be that first game if everything went to chalk. 2-0 count here to number 1, Jacob Seeger, who made the second inning kind of mercifully come to an end with that, catching that line drive out at second when he was subbed in as a defensive replacement during the pitching change. And he's quickly ahead 3-0 here. Pitch is a strike. Here's the 3-1 up at the eyes, and Seeger swung through it. So it's full. Here to Seeger, outside corner. Seeger swings through it, and strikeout number 2 of the inning, which will bring Griffin Reesop to the plate. That's on the outside corner, just off the plate, and called a ball. Here's the 1-0, fouled back to the screen, 1-1. Crazy how how these games can change as quickly as they do. About 45 minutes ago, Oshkosh North had the bases loaded in the top of the first with 1 out, and you felt like Fondy was in for a dogfight. Fast forward 2 innings, and it's anything but that right now. 2-1 here. Swung on and missed by Reesop, and it's 2-2. Cardinals scored 4 in the first, 7 in the second, if you're just joining us. And a couple of plays where they were helped out by Oshkosh North's defense. Oh, frozen on the strike 3. And Brody House comes in and strikes out the side. We go to the bottom of 3. Fondy leads it 11-0.
104 years ago, Silica opened its first store. And as the community grew and home needs changed, so did we. That's why we now carry thousands of top-quality home goods, a vast furniture selection, all your appliance needs, the comfort of bedding, and even TV, security, and home electronics. Everything you need for your home, and the delivery and service after the sale that keeps customers coming back for generations. That's why, since 1922, it's been Silica for your home.
At Radio Plus, we're proud to bring you Stream Team coverage of local sporting events. Our team is dedicated to providing live coverage from across Wisconsin, supporting the local teams and communities we know and love. What began as a one-person operation with play-by-play on radio has grown into a 5- or 6-person production. Keeping pace with the latest technology, equipment, and personnel is not only demanding, but costly. If you'd like to support this broadcast as a sponsor or a donor in any way, please log on radioplusinfo.com.
Back here for the bottom of the third inning. Fondy back to the plate. Here's Jack Brenner. Brenner reached base both times so far. He's scored twice. Well, just about everyone, well, all 9 Cardinals that started this game in the order have crossed home plate at least once. All 8 have reached base, obviously. I suppose the second has to be true if the first is true. That's in there on the inside corner, and Brenner going to call time here. That's the first time we've seen that inside strike called, a little bit off the plate. Scoreline might have something to do with that. 1-2 count here to Brenner. Downstairs and a ball. Anderson kind of gets a little more fair shake here in the third, gets to start with the bases clear as opposed to them jam-packed like he was greeted with back in the second. Brenner able to foul that one away and stay alive. Here's the 2-2. This one lined foul, just about the same exact spot. Brenner right on it, just out in front. And he hit probably the hardest ball we've seen today back in the first inning. 2-2, up and in, and it's full. Here's the full count pitch from Anderson, down and away, and it's a walk to Jack Brenner to lead off the third. Hudson Berg's going to stay in to hit. And he is 1 for 2 today. RBI double back in the first and popped out to short in the second. This is on the outside corner, painted perfectly by Anderson, and it's 0-1. Brenner with a small lead over at first. Anderson shakes off one pitch. Now comes set and comes home. Outside corner, it's in there for a strike. Throw down to second. And a good slide by Brenner, and he's safe in there with another stolen base for the Cardinals. They've run well all day long, and the speed factor has led to some errors from Oshkosh North and obviously also some stolen bases as well. As I said, that was in there, so it's 0-2, and that one's up and in, and Berg is down on strikes. Good pitch sequencing there from Jackson Anderson. A couple of good pitches on that outside corner, and then challenges Berg up and in and gets him to strike out. Zach Zangel to the dish. He drove in a couple of runs on a single back in the second. First pitch off speed and in there for a strike. Struck out looking back in the first. And he's behind 0-1 here in inning number 3. Brenner out at second. This one grounded over between the 5-6 hole and gets through out there. Brenner's going to move up to third, and there will be runners on the corners for Bryson Patton. Oh, check that. We're going to have a pinch hitter, looks like, here for Fondy. Mason Giesland into pinch hit for Patton. Patton singled last at bat, and now Giesland, the junior, into pinch hit for Coach Schneider. He'll get a chance with runners in scoring position after that seeing eye single through the left side of the infield from Zangel. Just ironing out the details there for the umpire, and Mason Giesland will be ready to dig in on the left side against Jackson Anderson. So we're set with one out here in the bottom of the third. Fondy looking to push their first run across here in this inning. It hasn't been a problem tonight. Anderson thought he might try to catch Zangel sleeping there with the fake throw to third, but Zangel only a couple of steps off the first base at the time being. This one's swing and down the left field line. Giesland wasting no time off the bench, getting in there and take a good cut at it. Might as well. Anderson's ready out there on the mound again. Ahead 0-1. Here's the pitch. This one swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. If nothing else, Anderson has come in and after struggling to find the zone on the first, maybe call it 3-4 batters, now he's pounding the strike zone. And he's up ahead 0-2 here. This one well outside. Bennett shuffles over to snare the off-speed pitch that just didn't quite break. Here's the 1-2. That's upstairs, and it's 2-2. Just as soon as talk about him throwing strikes, a couple of them a little bit loose. Good patience here from Giesland to work the count back to even. This one's in there, driven out to center field. Looks like it's going to get down out there, and it's going to be an RBI single for Giesland off the bench. Driving in Brenner from third. And Fondy just keeps hitting.
Now batting number 7, first baseman Logan Bonlander.
So Logan Bonlander back to the plate. He walked back in the second. It was an impressive walk as well. He had a couple of strikes on him. Count was 1-2. Worked a walk out of it. And he's in there now with a couple of guys on base. And a 12-0 Fondy lead. Anderson comes set a check out there on second base. That one's in there for a strike. Off-speed bender that just clipped a bit of that lower part of the inside part of the plate. Here's the 1-1. That's inside, and it's 2-1. He seemed like he found a groove throwing it away from hitters, and now it's kind of come back inside to challenge the Fondy hitters on the inside part of the plate. This one's over the plate and lined out to left field. That's going to drive a run in, and Fondy is going to lead it 13-0. Great piece of hitting by Logan Bonlander, and he drives in Zangel from second. And the bat just keeps passing along for Fondy. And I think we're going to see another pitching change here. Anderson is going to be removed with runners on first and second in the bottom of the third. He gave up a couple of runs here in this third inning. And Oshkosh North is going to enter Elliot Schultz, I believe. We'll get confirmation of that when we come back. Let's take a 30-second break. Back after this on Radio Plus.
Today's game is brought to you by Edward Jones and these area Edward Jones financial advisors. Robert Bruce, located at 68 North Main Street. Patrick Ellistad, located at 560 Fond du Lac Avenue. Jeff Wills, located at 649 Fond du Lac Avenue. And Matt Helmer, located at 649 Fond du Lac Avenue. Good luck to all athletes in today's game. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Back here on Radio Plus. Bottom of the third inning. I'm not sure what to tell you. The black uniform number 4 says Elliot Schultz, but it also says he throws right, and he's an outfielder, so I don't know. Not positive. It's a left-handed pitcher that's in there for Oshkosh North. So, doing the best we can out here. And he's got one more warm-up pitch, then we'll be ready to play again. It'll be Supernan at the plate. And Supernan's 2 for 2 with a single and a double to this point. There's the final warm-up pitch, and we're should be good to go. So we'll go with Schultz on the mound. And here's the right fielder, Supernand. Facing lefty for the first time this afternoon. First pitch is a strike, fouled back to the screen. Kettle Hut waits on deck. He's 1 for 1. He's reached base both times. Both Supernan and Kettle Hut both reached twice in the second inning alone. Now Fondy's back at it in the third. That one's off the plate, but a strike. And it's 0-2. Need a pretty long bat to get to that one. And Supernan wasn't going to offer. So here comes the 0-2 to Supernan, high, and it's ball number 1. See what we got going on down at Slinger. The 5th-seeded Owls are down 4-0 in the bottom of the second to the 12th-seeded Menasha Blue Jays. Menasha gets 4 in the top of the second inning. And so Slinger, still early, second inning. I mean, plenty of ball game to go, but I think Fondy would be all right if they faced 2 double-digit seeds. That one lined to second. It got dropped out there, and no one's running. This was pretty poorly communicated by, I don't know what. This was very poorly communicated by the umpires out there. That was dropped out at shortstop, and I think the home plate umpire signaled safe. So the problem here is this home plate umpire signaled safe, but I think the field umpire got the call right, which is that was dropped on purpose by Jackson Anderson. And so I think it was called.
Now batting number 15, left fielder Espen Kettlehut.
So Supernan's at first, which I don't know how that's officially going to be scored. It was a mess from the get-go as. So Bonlander is the one that was tagged out, but it seemed like the second base umpire, or the field umpire, excuse me, that ball's inside. Just trying to unpack this live time with you. It seemed like the field umpire called it a catch, but if that's the case, then Bonlander should be at first, and Supernan should have been out. Either way, Fondy has the result is the correct one. It should have been runners on first and second, and that's what it is. That's inside off the plate to Kettle Hut. I mean, Anderson had it in his glove pretty much squeezed and then let it trickle out to try to get the double play, and it just led to mass confusion. And the home plate umpire signaling safe didn't do any favors to anyone. Kettle Hut swings and misses. And it's 2-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Again, at least from a Fondy perspective, they should have had 2 runners on, just different runners. And so from that perspective, the correct outcome, I guess, however incorrectly it was ruled to get there, was achieved. 2 outs. Kettle Hut swings, misses in the dirt, and that will do it. Here in inning number 3, Fondy leads at 13-0. We go to the 4th. You're watching on Radio Plus.
Cleaning your gutters is a pain, but ignoring them could ruin the value of your home. Gutter Helmet is the solution. Choose the perfect color to blend with your home, and our certified technicians will install Gutter Helmet in less than a day. Call Gutter Helmet today to never clean your gutters again.
Whatever it takes.
AirTech delivers whatever it takes service to take care of you. Bryant and AirTech Heating of Fond du Lac.
All right, we go to the 4th. Another pitching change for Fondy. Logan Hahn, the senior, is going to be out there to throw in the 4th inning here. Fondy scored 4 in the bottom of the first, 7 in the second, and 2 more in the third. If you're just joining us, Oshkosh North had the bases loaded with 1 out in the top of the first. Chance to jump all over the Cardinals, start the upset, and fizzled out. Fondy got out of it. Starting pitcher Hudson Berg worked through it. Scoreless, and then Fondy jumping all over Oshkosh North, and it's been that way all 3 innings. All 3 innings that Fondy's come to the plate. So here in the 4th, new pitcher. Everything else looks like it's stayed the same for Fondy defensively. We'll let you know about any changes if we see him. Berg's out there at second, it looks like, Hudson Berg. Zangel's still over at third. Gadersky still at short, so I think that might be the only change, is that starting pitcher Hudson Berg is out there playing second base. And I think Coach Schneider here just having a conversation with the umpires about how that was ruled there in the 3rd inning. And
now pitching to the Cardinals, number 1, Logan Hahn.
The good thing is it's in a game where maybe that doesn't matter. So Schultz digs in against Hahn, and Hahn comes home. First pitch is low and a ball. Now one's high. Schultz came in and did a nice job on the bump. Didn't give up any runs, got a couple of outs there. Did a nice job throwing from the left-hand side, and maybe something that would take Fondy a little bit of time to adjust to, perhaps. And now he's worked a 3-0 count against Hahn. Here's the 3-0, in there for a strike. First baseman Ty Karpowitz is on deck, and he'll get a chance with a runner on base, a 5-pitch walk to Schultz. And then there will be a courtesy runner that will come in here. And get confirmation of that. Tucker Moskal. Nope, now Moskal's going to come back, so different courtesy runner here for Oshkosh North, and then Karpowitz will step in. Aiden Flanagan is going to pinch run. Sophomore infielder. Pinch running for Oshkosh North. Karpowitz digs in on the right side. He walked back in the second inning, and he's behind 0-1 on a first pitch strike from Hahn. Struggled to find the zone there at the first batter of the inning, but first pitch strike here. This one's upstairs. Here's the 1-1, swung on. It's going to get out of play. Look out down there. And it's a 1-2 count here to Ty Karpowitz. Hahn comes home, another foul straight back over our heads. One-two pitch. That one's in the metaphorical dirt. Bounces off the turf. It's 2-2. Karpowitz gets good contact on this. Lines it out to left. Took a bad hop out there. But a single there for Karpowitz, and he's been on both times he's been at the plate. And for the second inning in a row, the first two runners are on base for Oshkosh North. Colin O'Hara comes to the plate. He grounded into a 4-3 put out to second base. It was that great diving play made by Tate Winter back in the second inning. And then he threw him out. Winter's not out there anymore. It's Berg at second now. And O'Hara's quickly down 0-2. Nice job here by Hahn to get ahead. Checks out at second. Here is a bouncer out to Berg at second. Flips it to short. It's going to be a tough play at first. It's safe at first. It just bounced so high that it was always going to be a tough play to make. To double him up, Guderski made a good throw, made it close, but just a step late. So Brenner will give the signal to the defense. I would assume drop back to double play depth, try to get out of this inning here with another bouncer. If Hahn can get Anderson to maybe roll over on something. First pitch is a strike in there. It's going to have to be a quick flip and a quick turn to get Anderson at first. We've seen the plus speed from Anderson. So if you're going to try to double him up, it's going to be a tough task. Another strike in there, and it's 0-2. Anderson singled in the first, was stranded at third, and then flew out to deep right. In the second, he swings and misses, and he's down on strikes here in the fourth. Out number 2 on a 3-pitch strikeout for Hahn. Schmidt back to the plate. Shouldn't say back to. This is his first at-bat this afternoon. He came in during the pitching change. And now he's got a chance here in the fourth with runners at the corners. Oshkosh North trying to avoid having their leadoff two runners on for the second straight inning and stranding them there. That was outside, and it's 2-0. Here is that 2-0 pitch. That's upstairs. So 3-0. After throwing 6 strikes out of 7 pitches, now 3 straight balls from Hahn, make it 4 straight, and the bases will be loaded here for second baseman Braden Frank.
Now batting number 6, second baseman Braden Frank.
So see if Hahn can get back to it and find the strike zone. Logan Hahn, the senior. Frank awaits the first pitch, and it's low in the dirt. Oshkosh North, for the second time today, has the bases loaded. That one in there at the knees. One and one count. That's in there. Same spot. Good location. Not really going to do much with that pitch, and Frank just laid off, and now it's 1-2. Frank choking up a little bit on the bat, just trying to get some contact here with runners in scoring position, and he cannot. A strikeout gets out of the inning. 2 strikeouts for Hahn in the fourth, and for the second time today, Oshkosh North leaves them loaded. We go to the bottom of 4. Fondy leads at 13-0. Now here we are in the bottom of the 4th. Fondy's in run rule territory right now, but you got to go 5 in baseball. Not like softball, where you do have that 15 after 3 rule, which obviously Fondy's not to that threshold yet anyways. So for the Cards, Keaton Killian will lead things off, top of the order.
16, center fielder Keaton Killian.
Killian's had a great day so far. He's 1 for 2, but he's reached base twice. Walked with the bases loaded back in the second. First pitch is a strike. See if the Cards can figure out the left-handed pitching here in this inning. They went down quietly after Schultz came into the lineup back in the 3rd. But we'll see what the top of the order can do here. That's upstairs, and it's 2-1 to Killian. Schultz has a very unique kind of wind-up and delivery. That one's inside, and it's 3-1. So good patience here from Killian to lead off this 4th inning for the Cards. That one over the heart of the plate and down the left field line, foul, out of play. Count is full. Here's the full count pitch. Grounded out to second. Killian gets down the line so well. You got to make that play as clean as you can, and it was made out there by Jacob Seeger on the 4-3 putout. And he's only had 2 chances, but he's made both of them out there at second. He's was the DH to start this game and thrust into action in the second inning. So that brings up Gadursky, excuse me, and then another miscommunication over there in the 5-6 hole. And Anderson, based on his reaction, looks like he maybe called it, and Frank tried to pick it off in front of him and threw off Anderson. So Gadursky reaches on another defensive mishap over there on the left side of the infield. We've seen 3 or 4 of those this afternoon for Oshkosh North. First pitch swinging is Brenner, and he fouls it back over the fans on the right side of the field. That was the 3rd time, by the way, that Gadursky has reached base today. A couple of them have come on 50-50 hit/error decisions. Brenner swings through that one, and he's down 0-2. Brenner's reached all 3 times. Had that hard hit ball to center in the first, then back-to-back walks in the second and third in those 2 plate appearances. This one off speed, just got a piece. Look out down there, and just missed everyone. That was in the danger zone for Zane down there. Look out. He was ready to sacrifice himself for the equipment down there. I know he was. So Brenner stays alive, just getting a piece of that 0-2 pitch. And here's the 0-2 yet again. Outside. And 1-2. That one probably too close to take with 2 strikes based on how we've seen that side of the plate called this afternoon. But Brenner gets away with it. 1-2 with Gadursky on first. This one ripped out to left center. This is going to score a run, and Brenner is motoring around second. I think he's going to dig for 3. He will, and he's going to be in there with a triple. No doubt about this one. An RBI triple for Brenner. That was tattooed to right center field. 14th run of the ball game comes here in the 4th, and Brenner's going to get a courtesy runner here. It's Carter Vercauteren, the senior.
Courtesy runner, number 13, Carter Vercauteren.
And Berg comes to the plate for the 4th time today. He is 1 for 3. Had that RBI double to drive in Brenner back in the first inning. Since then, it's been a little quiet. Popped out to short and struck out back in the 3rd. This one's up and in. And Berg's out of the way. Schultz comes home with the 1-0. This one is hit a mile in the air. It's going to stay playable. Got to deal with the shadows over there, and a nice play by Braden Frank. Oh, did he drop it late? It looked like he made the play. Oh, he dropped it late. Looked like it was in his glove. So I guess, that's about as tough a place to try to take one of those pop flies right there where the dugout, you got some trees over there, and it just, I guess, but it hurt to hit the glove. That one nearly off the toe of Berg, and Verkotteren's not going to score on the passed ball there. It's 2-2. It hit his glove for sure. That's what I heard it, the pop of the mitt, and that's why I thought he caught it. Must have snuck out. So Berg with the new life. This one ripped to center, hit deep. Gonna have a chance, and it bounces at the track, and it's a ground rule double. So an RBI double. It looked like Berg might have gotten all of that one. And just for a second, I thought that might have had a chance. You got to hit it a ton to get it out of here in center. That is the 15th run of the ball game. And Zach Zengel will come to the plate. If that would have stayed in, Berg for sure would have had a triple. But I don't think he's going to complain. Had that one gone to either of the power gaps, that probably would have gone. But you got to hit it 370 to get it out where he hit it. And he nearly did it. That landed on the track. This one fouled straight over our heads. Zengel has a couple of singles. Drove in 2 runs back in the second. He's scored twice. Struck out looking back in the first. He was kind of the first victim of that outside strike that we've seen this afternoon. And since he figured that out, he's had a very nice day at the plate. And another chance for an RBI here for him is got plenty of speed out there with Berg. You can say that with just about everyone in the Fondy order. It's a fun team to watch. They make it exciting. This one is skied over to the third base side. This is that tough play again. And this time it was made, and way off the bag was Berg. He gets doubled off on a foul ball. So there's outs number 2 and 3. Fondy hangs 2 more on here in the 4th. And unless they get some runs, last chance here for Oshkosh North. We head to the 5th. Fondy leads at 15-0.
At Musa Sheet Metal, they spend generations building a better everyday life. They don't just build panels, they build a legacy. They're growing, innovating, and pushing the limits again with their brand new 24-gauge stocked steel line. Musa colors created by the Musa team, 25 bold choices ready to go, delivering the best solutions in architectural sheet metal. Say hi to the Musa apprentices. They're your neighbors, your classmates, and the future of the industry. Musa Sheet Metal, revolutionizing steel, building the future.
Cleaning your gutters is a pain, but ignoring them could ruin the value of your home. Gutter Helmet is the solution. Choose the perfect color to blend with your home, and our certified technicians will install Gutter Helmet in less than a day. Call Gutter Helmet today to never clean your gutters again.
All right, back for the top of the 5th. And Fondy well within run rule territory here, but obviously they'd love to keep the shutout. Slinger scored 1 in the bottom of the 3rd, so they trail Menasha 4-1 in the 4th. Regardless, for Fondy, the important thing for the Cardinals is win, and you have a home game on Thursday no matter what. But right now, if that holds, they would see the double-digit seeded Menasha Blue Jays, the 12 seed, instead of 5th seeded Slinger. 0-2 count here to catcher Jack Bennett. That one just misses. Here's the 1-2. Bennett catches a piece. Hana's done a nice job. Obviously, had some traffic on in the last inning, but worked his way through it. And Bennett's going to take time as Hahn was shaking off a couple of pitches. 1-2. Here comes Hahn. That one's upstairs. Told you about Slinger Menasha. I know WLA, Winnebago Lutheran, is still in it down in Division 3. They trail on the road at Living Word. Bennett goes down. There's out number 1. Fondy a couple of outs away from preserving the shutout and moving on to the regional championship coming up on Thursday. Game time to be determined. So you'll want to keep an eye on that. We'll have that one for you on Radio Plus. Whether that's a 3:30, 4:30 first pitch, we'll see. This one ripped out to left. That one hit a ton and over the head of Kettlehut out there, and it's a double for Jacob Seeger. Seeger, the man who started the day as designated hitter and came in, played some second base here for Oshkosh North. He tattooed that one out to left field. First one to really square anything up against Hahn here since he's been into the game. Here's center fielder Griffin Resop. Outside and off the plate, and it's 1-0 to Resop. 1-0, turned on. That one's hit hard out to right. Couple of turns, but a nice play made out there by Gavin Supernan. And that'll move Seeger up to third, but out number 2. And Landon Roofer, check that. We're going to have a pinch hitter here, it looks like, for Oshkosh North. Tucker Moskal will come to the plate to try to keep this thing going for Oshkosh North. And for Hahn, he's trying to, as I mentioned, coming into the inning, preserve the shutout. Oshkosh North scored 6 runs on Fondy both times they played them. 10-6 was the win for Fondy at Oshkosh North earlier this month. Check that. We've turned the pages to June here. This one grounded over to third. Zangle makes the throw over to first, and that'll do it. Fondy shuts out Oshkosh North 15-0. And they head to the regional championship coming up on Thursday. What a dominating performance for the Cards. Once again, the final 15-0. Take a timeout, and we'll come back with our post-game show. Just have a couple of thoughts for you, and then we'll wrap things up here from Joe Braun Field. Right after this on Radio Plus.
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu has so much Lutz, it's starting to go to people's heads. I'm the Lutzierge.
Which is the mini taco salad fork?
Here to help them cope. So when you try the mini taco salad, beefy potato loaded griller, or chips and nacho supreme dip, enjoy the Lutz. Just don't let it go to your head.
Yeah, bring the car around.
You know there's no valet.
Then who's getting the car?
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu. 10 extravagant indulgences, all $3 or less.
Today's game is brought to you by Edward Jones and these area Edward Jones financial advisors. Robert Bruce, located at 68 North Main Street. Patrick Ellistad, located at 560 Fond du Lac Avenue. Jeff Wills, located at 649 Fond du Lac Avenue. And Matt Helmer, located at 649 Fond du Lac Avenue. Good luck to all athletes in today's game. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
At Radio Plus, we're proud to bring you stream team coverage of local sporting events. Our team is dedicated to providing live coverage from across Wisconsin, supporting the local teams and communities we know and love. What began as a one-person operation with play-by-play on radio has grown into a 5 or 6-person production. Keeping pace with the latest technology, equipment, and personnel is not only demanding, but costly. If you'd like to support this broadcast as a sponsor or a donor in any way, please scan the QR code on the screen.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
AirTech delivers whatever it takes service to take care of you. Bryant and AirTech Heating of Fond du Lac.
All right, back here one last time at Joe Braun Field. The Fondy Cardinals dominate Oshkosh North 15-0. You know, we talked about it before the game. You know, beating a team 3 times, not easy. You know, baseball obviously maybe slightly different than some of the other sports, but still, you got to face a team for a third time. Now, in this case, Fondy had not faced the starting pitcher, Keegan Kinsvogel, and so you just wondered, you know, how the Cardinals would react to that. And then I'll tell you what, after that top half of the first inning, Oshkosh North loads the bases with just 1 out, threatened, it just looked like it was going to be a dogfight, but that's not what we got here this afternoon. Fondy gets out of that top of the first, hangs 4 on in the bottom of the first, 7 more in the second, and 2 apiece in the third and fourth innings to win it 15-0 and advance to a regional championship where they will host coming up on Thursday. Again, keep an eye out on the WIAA website, but also, you know, keep your eyes peeled on Radio Plus. We'll have that game for you on Thursday. Hopefully an earlier start. That's what they're shooting for. Nothing confirmed yet, but I think at the very worst it would be a 4:30 start. But they're hoping to maybe move that up to 3:30 or possibly even 3 o'clock. And currently that would be against Menasha. Looking at that Menasha Slinger game just one more time and give you one final update. It's still 4-1. Menasha scored 2 in the top of the top of the second inning. Slinger added 1 on in the bottom of the third, but they're already in the 5th inning. So Menasha is doing a nice job against the 5th-seeded Slinger Owls. Couple of standout performances. Well, I would just say this. You know, we can highlight a couple of these guys. Brenner scored 4 times today. Godursky scored 3 times today. 2 times. Zach Zangel scored twice and also had 3 RBIs on the day. You could look at all sorts of guys. Supernan had 2 RBIs. But I would just say this. The most impressive part, and I think the one that tells the story the most, is that the starting lineup, 1 through 9, for the Fondy Cardinals, everyone reached base and everyone scored at least 1 time today. So certainly the top of the order did its job. A lot of the damage there in that 2-3 holes with Godursky and Brenner, certainly, and the RBIs from Zangel. But I just think up and down the line, you can certainly highlight some of them. But how about just the team effort for the Fond du Lac Cardinals, 1 through 9, to get this done today? They brought 13 batters to the plate back in the second inning when they kind of blew this thing open. Hudson Berg did a great job on the mound to start things off, and then a couple of innings of relief from Logan Hahn as well, which was he looked good as well out there. So just overall a comprehensive win for the Fondy Cardinals. They get it done and move on to Thursday. And we'll be back with you on Thursday, and we're looking forward to that one as well, and see if Fondy can win themselves a regional title, move on to the sectional round coming up next week. All right, Jordan King saying so long. Thanks to Carrie and Zane here for their hard work. Appreciate all our sponsors up and down the line, and thank you for tuning in. Fondy dominates Oshkosh North 15-0. Have a great evening, everybody.